Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is Course 2, Lesson 7-2. We are looking at identifying and classifying angles. So our objective is to classify angles and to find angle measures using the relationship between pairs of angles. Okay, so here we go. Again, we have a lot of vocab and definitions that we need to know in this section. Okay, so an angle is defined as a figure formed by two rays with a common endpoint. Okay, this is the symbol for angle. Okay, it looks just like, sort of like a generic, almost like a less than sign. Okay, no arrows, nothing like that. Okay, a vertex is the point of intersection of two sides of an angle or figure. Okay, and it has an irregular plural, and that would be vertices. V-E-R-T-I-C-E-S, vertices, means more than one vertex. Okay. Okay, so let's look at some of our angle types here. This first one here would be classified as an acute angle. It measures between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. Okay. We have the next one next door to it is our right angle, and it measures exactly 90 degrees. The third one is obtuse, and it measures between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. And finally, our last one is a straight angle, or a line, okay, and its measure is 180 degrees, exactly, okay. Alrighty then. Adjacent angles are angles that share a vertex and a side but have no interior points in common. Okay. So if I want to look at this little diagram here, it says circle an angle adjacent to angle 1. So angle 1 is right here. I could circle angle 2 because it's adjacent to angle 1. Alright, so here's angle 1. Here's the vertex they share. Here's the side they share. There's nothing else in between them except the side that they share. That's it. Okay. I could also circle angle 4. Angle 4 is also adjacent to angle 1. Alright, vertical angles are congruent angles formed by two intersecting lines and are opposite each other. Okay. When I was looking at some information, I think that the British, instead of vertical angles, they call these opposite angles. So, because it kind of fits that definition. I mean, they fit the same definition. Circle the vertical angle to angle 1. So here's angle 1. Its vertical angle would be angle 3 in this picture. Also, angles 4 and 2 would be vertical in this picture. Okay? All right. If the sum of the measures of two angles is 90 degrees, the angles are complementary. Okay, now, somebody just told me this little trick. It's right to give a compliment to someone. So complement goes with complementary, which means 90 degrees. Okay? If the sum is 180 degrees, the angles are supplementary. Okay, so remember, complementary and supplementary, you can tell complementary because it's right to give a compliment. 90 degrees is a right angle. The other kind is supplementary. Okay. They don't have to be adjacent to be complementary and supplementary. Their measures just have to add up to 90 and 180 degrees respectively. So in this case, these are complementary, so we know that they're going to add up to 90 degrees. So to find this one, I simply take 90 minus 51, which gives me 39 degrees. Okay, that's just what I was writing off to the side. Sorry you couldn't see that. Okay, simple math. Supplementary means they're going to add up to 180 degrees, so I will take the 180 that I know they add up to, subtract the known value, and the supplement to the 65-degree angle is 115 degrees. Okay, so pretty straightforward there. Congruent angles are angles with equal measures. Okay, and just a reminder, if you have an equal sign with a little squiggle over it, this means is congruent to. I also use it in place of the word congruent when I'm taking notes so that I don't have to write out everything in longhand. So you may see that pop up. I'm reminding you now. I'll try to remind you when I use it as well. So again, here are your definitions and important information for this section. If you have started your collection of flashcards, you might want to add these to it. Okay, now let's look at our first example. It says identifying angles. Identify the acute angles, obtuse angles, and straight angle in the figure. Okay, so acute means less than 90 degrees. 90 degrees is like the corner of the page. Okay, so if I see these, I see that angle, this angle right here is acute, and this angle right here. So angle MLN. Okay, notice I start here. The vertex is the middle letter, and as that, I use my angle symbol. And angle MNL. Okay, although I've used the same letters, the order determines what angle I'm talking about. Remember, the middle letter is always the vertex. Okay, my obtuse angles, I'm going to put A for acute and A for acute. I shouldn't have actually put those little symbols in there because those mean congruent. So I'm just going to put A and A. Here is an obtuse angle. Also, here is an obtuse angle. So angle KLM and angle LMN are obtuse angles. And a straight angle would be angle KLN. Okay, now on all of these I can exactly reverse the order in which I name these. Like angle MLN is the same as angle NLM. Okay, you don't have to name it every possible way for me. Give me one way that's correct and appropriate, and that is certainly sufficient. Okay, finding angle measures. Find the measures of angle 1, 2, and 4 for the measure of angle 3 being 32 degrees. So I'm going to mark in that that is 32 degrees. Okay, so now I want to do a little bit of looking around here, and let's see. The measure of angle 2 is right here, plus the measure of angle 3. If you look and you see angle 2 is here, angle 3 is adjacent. The side that is not adjacent, they form a straight angle, so that means they are supplementary. So they must add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so algebraically I can subtract 32 from each side. So 180 minus 32 gives me 148 degrees for the measure of angle 2. Okay, now I am fine in this chapter because I want to focus more on the geometry. Is just if you know they're supplementary, take the 180 minus 32, and I'm happy with that. Okay, to get the 148. If you want to use the algebra, that's certainly fine. Now that I have these two angles figured out, I can use my definition of vertical angles. Angles 1 and 3 are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent, so the measure of angle 1 is 32 degrees. The measure of angle 4 is 148 degrees because 4 and 2 are also vertical angles. So if I have an angle, two intersecting lines, and I know just one of the angles, I can figure out all of the others by using definitions such as supplementary angles and vertical angles. Okay, you have 3 quick checks here. If you would get those done, have them ready for discussion. Also bring in any questions